I think that we should talk about Bangalore. Bangalore fans are all going, where is our team? Where is our cup? Where is our joy? Could this be the year? Could it?
Joy is in Gurugram.
Joy is waiting in Gurugram. And their cup perhaps is also waiting in other places, not in Bangalore. Let's see where they are going to be playing this time. Let's see where this Bangalore juggernaut goes from one place to the other. Not playing in Chinnaswamy. As we had said, a negative win-loss record over there. So they don't mind at all the fact that they're not playing in Bangalore. They're playing their first few games in Chennai. They've got Mumbai, they've got Ahmedabad, and then they've got Kolkata. So they keep moving. They're playing 5 games in Kolkata right towards the end. Let's have a look at their squad. They did a few changes as well, as they do. Yes. They have Mike Hesson, who's over there. And what did they do at the auction? Let's have a look at the team.
Again, Jamieson is a result of, what auctions do to players. And they missed out on Morris, and they thought that, they'd buy back Morris at a particular price. And instead of getting him back for 10 crores, to their horror, it just spiraled to a 16, 17 crore price, which they could no longer afford, and then felt that they had to replace him. Their problem, of course, is the same. It's always been the same. A is that end bowler, and B is that sort of late middle order. What happens post, the Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers times? And I don't think hugely big steps have been taken in that direction. The one thing they've done, though, is they've got a wily old pro out there who might play a few more games than you think, and that's Daniel Christian. And Daniel Christian is one of those 37, 38-year-old journeyman cricketers, played around the world. The one thing he knows what to do is he knows how to win. And, pitches like Chennai, which are not particularly fast, they're playing in Chennai to start with, might just suit somebody like him and the kind of, cricket that he brings to the game, which is smart cricket, sharp cricket, just playing the conditions, cutting the ball, seaming the ball a bit, not too much pace. It might suit him much more than it would suit somebody like Jamieson, who's just not used to that many conditions outside of New Zealand and, fast pitches. So Jamieson looks a very exciting prospect, but how much he's played in the subcontinent and how much he'll be able to adapt here is, it's a huge question.
And what has happened after that auction? It's been quite interesting because there's been nothing really crazy that has happened in limited overs. These are the T20s that he played against Australia, just got the 1 wicket. These are things that can play on you, Harsha. They shouldn't, I guess, and people shouldn't speak about them. But, he knows, everybody knows. It's one of those things you don't say. It's one of those pressures that you hope are not on the player because he didn't choose the price. It's a free market economy. This is what they thought he was worth. But justifying the worth and justifying the faith is a human emotion that is completely understood.
It is the only thing I will say, because Dooley is not on this program, is that some of those grounds that Jamieson would have played those games on would have been a little bigger than my room. Not as big as your room, but they would have been a little bigger than that. So that's the only thing I'll say in favor of Kyle Jamieson. But why did you buy?
Good thing he's not playing in Bangalore then, right? Good thing.
Why did you buy Jamieson? You thought tall guy, bounce, hit the deck, he'll be good bowling at the death, because that was a big issue for them. And specifically for the death last year, they bought Kane Richardson. But last year Richardson did a Stark and a Hazelwood. He didn't turn up. And then Zampa came and bowled well, so Zampa's back in the side. But if Kane Richardson is in your side as a specialist death bowler, and you can't leave 29 crores sitting on the bench. So if you want to play Richardson and Jamieson both, then where do you play Christian? Because you will play. The reason you've got you've got into the hype of Maxwell is you want Kohli and AB to think, oh hey,
yeah,
it's not après moi. No, actually, so that après moi deluge is in a different context. But but they want someone after that.
Yeah.
So I think you want to play Maxwell. Also in those first 3 games, Maxwell will give you 2-3 overs in Chennai. So you can't play both Richardson and Jamieson and hope to play Christian. So they've got. It's funny, they've got lots of options with overseas players, but the Indian players have not yet solved their problem. Is Siraj going to bowl at the death again? Is Saini going to bowl at the death again? Is Chahal going to be back in form? Because Chahal's sort of plateaued a little in the last few months. So the bowling still needs to sort itself. But I think the big thing they've done, which something that I think they should have done long ago, is have Virat Kohli at the top of the order.
So Virat will be opening, of course, with Devdutt Padikkal, and he has said that he will be opening. And Joy, the one thing, I mean, we touched upon this briefly a little earlier, and Bangalore has always had this chronic problem: great squad, but not an effective 11, right? Somehow you always want that Bangalore in a squad just gives themselves lesser choices. It's a well-documented fact that international teams travel with 16, 17, in the bio bubble perhaps more, but you're traveling with maybe 15 or 16. But here you have 24, 25 players. It is difficult with that 7-4 spread to get a proper correct 11 that you back. And Bangalore has always had that problem, and that's why they just keep chopping and changing. So it's, chicken and egg. Is it not the correct 11 and that's why they chop and change, or is it they chop and change and therefore they don't get a correct 11? But the fact is that that's what happens to them every time. And now that we're talking about these options, this seems like a very legit fear for this season as well.
Yeah, I think the one thing they've got to tell themselves is that if Virat is opening, he's going to open for at least 10 matches. That okay, 10 matches, Virat Kohli is going to open the batting, because there is no point, what they've chopped and changed early. I think given what's happened, it's time to put some stakes in the ground. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
When they chopped and changed in the past, okay, it didn't work for them. Okay, if they don't chop and change, it still may not work for them, but at least it's something they haven't tried. And at least there'll be a certain amount of calmness in the squad. Yeah. I mean, I remember squads, in KKR, when you had a situation where players didn't know they were playing overnight. And if that happens to a player, what happens is that insecurity spreads to the whole team. So if they turn around and said, let's be calm, this is our 11, we're going to play this 11 for these many matches, we're going to try it out, barring injury, we're going to just try and see what's going to happen. Then we'll evaluate. Calm down, guys. Let's do it this way. And say that Virat's going to open for at least 10 because he's that good a player. It's not even 5. Give him 10 matches at the top and say your best players get the maximum balls to face. I think if they bring that calmness, maybe they can make a difference. And maybe they can just turn on and say that, we are not playing in Bangalore. Maybe that's why this is our year. And we don't need to play there.
It works on many fronts. It works on many fronts, Gaurav, because one of their problems has always been the middle overs and keeping wickets and scoring runs in the middle overs. And if Virat is batting after 6 overs, then he's already set. He's already hit a few boundaries. He can control those middle overs really well. But they need to give Virat that time. Virat cannot go out and start slogging, because then you don't need Virat Kohli. He's Virat Kohli. He doesn't need to go and slog. And that's why the people who play alongside Virat Kohli in that power play are going to be very crucial. Is Devdutt Padikkal going to be that player who tees off a little bit? Otherwise, my feeling is there is this guy at number 3 who they can just throw in and say, go and do what you want. Because
let's bring the squad back up. Sorry, let's just bring the squad back up while you say that.
And I think that player is Mohammad Azharuddin. And I said Azharuddin because good South Indian says Azharuddin. So I saw him play one game only, so I don't have enough sample size. But he could be this guy who you just say, listen, go and do what you want. If you give us 20 of 10 or you give us 25 of 12, that's perfect for us, because it gives Virat Kohli the time to stroke those boundaries early on with the field restrictions. You don't have to play the big shots, and then Kohli is ready to control the middle overs, leaving AB and Maxwell to fire. I think that is their game plan.
What they missed out is that people like AB and Virat have not played with the joy and carefreeness that they naturally have when they're playing for their countries. They're their best when they are just there. They've been looked, the last few years, you look at them, they have that sort of weight of responsibility on their backs. And if Maxwell does nothing but allow them that freedom to say, we're just going to go there and whack the ball and play our natural game. I think even if Maxwell can achieve that much to say, I'm batting at 6, I'll stabilize you for you guys. Even if mentally they feel better with that, it's going to be a huge difference to this team.
Let's see what the points tally is. Did you say next year? What do you say?
This year. No. This year. RCB fans, this year.
Just. Why do you build me a buttercup? let's have a look at the rating points again. क्यों तूने मेरा ये दिल तोड़ा? As you can see, Simon Dool very bullish on them. Me perhaps a little more. Harsha and Joy at 6, and they have given you their reasons for that.